I have to tell you, the man to my right, you see him on A's pre- and post-game live on television. He is the best-dressed man at NBC, but that's a side gig. That's a side hustle. Who he is in real life is a former Major League Baseball player, longtime scout, considered by many to be the best pro scout in Major League Baseball. Whether he's scouting guys at this level or you send him down into the bushes and finding guys down at the minor league level, very successful, many organizations, and we are very lucky to have him with the Oakland Athletics. Oakland's own, the great Shooty Babitt, with us here on A's Cast Live. First appearance of the 2023 season. How are you, my friend?
Outstanding, Tony. First of all, happy 2023 baseball season. I first of all would just like to pay honor and tribute to all the people here in the Oakland A's organization. Your young people are doing a fantastic job promoting, putting things together to bring people into the ballpark. The energy is just astounding. It started in spring training. Actually, it started in fantasy camp, working around a young group of anxious and ambitious people, and then getting a chance to be around the young players here in Oakland. I mean, this is, if there was a mantra, in my opinion, it would probably be something like, just wait, because these kids are special. They've got an opportunity to do some damage at this level, but we got to remember, this is baseball. It's not the microwave. You got to take your time and let this thing simmer and let this thing cook and become the menu that it could be.
So it's more a crock pot.
Absolutely. No question about it.
It's going to be 8-10 hours. It's not going to be 30 seconds.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk, first of all, because we've been trying to really promote this on A's Cast Live, and we've played the video. They're now playing the video in the stadium about really, which is near and dear to your heart, is fantasy camp. We got to go down there for the first time. Fantasy camp, it was incredible. It exceeded my expectations. I was like, man, this would make a great gift. If you just wanted to go, awesome. But it'd also make a great gift, like Christmas gift, birthday gift, to basically be a big leaguer, to go down there, wear the uniform, to be around A's greats, to have the trainers, the training room. I mean, you're going to Top Golf. You're playing TPC Scottsdale, the sister course to where they played the tournament. I mean, it's cocktail hour every night. I mean, this is like, it's an incredible trip. And really, you're the ringleader of this. I know this means a lot to you. Tell people, I mean, I can only say it enough. Tell them this is special to go down there. You're building friendships for a lifetime.
It's incredible. Getting the opportunity to be a part of it. Dave Henderson is what kept it together. God rest his soul. The A's were struggling. The A's weren't part of conducting a fantasy camp. And then they took it over. But the experience, the opportunity to be around people that have been cheering for you, pulling for you, have their heroes, get an opportunity to be coached by them, have lockers shared by them, hear the stories, understand that they're real people. There are not a lot of people that knew that Dave Stewart was the kind and sweet and generous person that he is, just because of the person that they only saw in between the lines, because he could scare you out of an at bat just by looking at you. But the person that he is, you get a chance to see that side of it. When they bring you in there, they treat you like major leaguers. You got a major league uniform. You're in a major league clubhouse. You're getting treatment by major league trainers. They lay it down just like you're in the big leagues for a week. And to do it, to have that experience, the friends. I've got friends that I've been knowing ever since I started fantasy camp 15 years ago that have been friends, that have been mentors, that have been helpful to people in my family. It goes on and on and on. So it becomes like you're more than just a friend. You're like family. I mean, one of the biggest A's fans that we have, Steve Douglas, I can't tell you how much he pours his heart into this organization and the things that he's trying to do to enhance opportunity for people of color, people that are underprivileged, if you will, that want to become part of the fantasy camp. So that just goes to show you about the life lessons that we learn in the fantasy camp, just not the baseball, but the people and the things that they want to do there.
Yeah, I got to be real honest with you. When we got there, and as somebody, I've been doing this a long time, right? And I've had the privilege of doing a show on a Major League Baseball field. I've traveled in Major League Baseball. Like, you think I'm pretty jaded, right? So I get down there and I go and I'm taking pictures for the show and everything. And I go up and it's Dave Stewart and Dallas Braden talking to the pitchers. And I was like behind everybody, and I was just kind of being a voyeur. And I was like, damn, this is really cool. Like Dave Stewart's in uniform. It's not like, I mean, I do TV with Stu, but he's in a suit or he's in a polo. Dave Stewart, he's got the brim turned down. And I'm like, wow, this is really special. Like I was like kind of blown away about, Dave Stewart's talking pitching. Dallas Braden's talking pitching with these guys. And it's such an intimate situation. And then you go out and wow, then you got Terry Steinbach. I mean, I was blown away.
Every year, I get blown away. Ricky's been there. Campy is there. Blue Moon Odom, Vida. Anybody that has had an opportunity to attend, Conseco. I mean, you name it. Carney Lansford's there.
Carney, yeah.
So it's great history. It's an opportunity. I've always been a judge in Kangaroo Court up until a couple of years ago when Dallas joined the crew. And let me tell you, this dude has taken it to a whole nother level. So we've worked together. There's been a time that we respected the ladies and we didn't want them to be a part of what goes on in there because of some of the language. Guess what? They invited them this year, and the ladies had more fun than their husbands, just seeing their husbands act like boys and enjoy the game that they love so much. So if you have an opportunity, and Tony, I would be remiss, man. Let's go. Let me rewind this a little bit. You calling this Overact Monday. I call this Thankful Monday, man. I want to congratulate you, my man, because we've been doing this for a lot of years, and there's been times where we didn't have absolutely nothing to talk about, but you found a way to keep the people that were listening interested. These days it's difficult unless you're a real fan and you know where to go. Man, if you go to Chris Townsend, you're going to hear everything you can about the A's. But for how many million listeners did you have last year?
It was over like 1.2.
Unbelievable, man. And just your heart and your passion, what you've been able to do and allow us former players to have a platform, to have our voice heard, to give us an opportunity to express ourselves and talk a little bit about our experience with the Oakland A's. This is my 46th year being involved and a part of this organization. And it's people here that make me feel like family. So whenever I get an opportunity to talk about the green and gold, man, it's a special time. So, man, I appreciate you having me whenever you do. But, man, people here should have a whole lot of thanks for you, man, because you've done a tremendous job keeping this together.
Well, that's why it's so tough for us who are around the organization, because we know how good the people are inside this organization, what they've meant to all of our families, right? What they've done for us personally, what they've done for our families. And there's a lot of criticism out there, sometimes very warranted, but it's still tough for us because this organization does mean so much to us because they've touched us in so many different ways. But thank you for those kind words. That means a lot. And you've been a very good friend to me in all the different places I've been for all these years. One of the reasons why we wanted to have you on today is I think about Ruiz. You're one of the big reasons why he's here. What did you see in him that made you say, got to go? I don't know how we get him, because you tried to get him last year from San Diego. Now it's like, now he's moved on in the Hader deal. It's like, how do you get this guy?
I was fortunate enough to sprinkle a little ingredients on the product. The San Diego Padres organization is a team that I cover, the A-ball and the AA club, and I also cover them in spring training. I'm a type of scout that I give the player the credit. I like a player, but it's up to the player to make me love them. I went into San Antonio a couple of times, and I saw Ruiz play a couple of times, and I like a player that impacts the game. Everybody can't be Superman. Everybody can't hit the ball out of the ballpark. Every player is individually gifted in their own way. And when you get to AA and when you get to this league right here, it's more will than it is the matter, because the matter of fact is that you have skills. The will is if you're going to be able to impose yours up here. And if he wasn't hitting, he was taking one away. If he was on the bases, he was creating havoc. He was running on the field. He was running off the field. I thought he was a lean guy. I thought he wasn't strong enough, but the way he battled in the box and he didn't give away at bats, and sometimes it looked a little unorthodox. But one thing I learned as a player, and even more so as a scout, unorthodox a lot of time is good because they do it a little differently. But even though they do it differently, it's allowed them to continue to have success. He came in here, took a job. What can you say? We've got to be patient, bro. You just can't come up here and destroy the big leagues. It's going to be some ups, and it's going to be some downs. But I've seen some skill that plays at this level. It's just going to be a matter if he's going to be able to slow his heartbeat down every night, man. Look how he came out the first 3 nights. Ohtani, the guy that's just pitched in the biggest game in a tournament this year in the WBC. And then you get a funky guy to come out here, deceptive, everything. Every night in the big leagues, you're getting the best that there is to offer. So taking that game to here, being who you are, remembering who you are and what got you here, I think is going to be the key for him. Big ballparks, man. The ball don't go out of the yard like it do in San Antonio here. Sometimes you're going to hit one right on the button and it's spray the ball in the gaps, get on base, create havoc, and score runs. That's what I saw. That's what I hope I continue to see out of that young man. And it's an organizational choice, and I'm just grateful and thankful to be a part of that.
Well, I'll tell you what. He's got legit speed. It's just not he's not fast. It's not that he's just an athlete. He's got legit speed.
It's top of the skill speed. It's the type of speed that, you know, if they get a good jump and they're going, you can't do anything about it. You know, I played against Eric Davis. He was the kind of guy I'd play second base and stand on the base and hold him at second base. He still took a lead and stole the bag. You just could not stop him. And I think Ruiz has that type of speed, impact speed. No question about it.
What other young players, whether they're back at AAA now or they're here, that you're excited about?
I'm excited about Lawrence Butler. How could you not be? I mean, this is a guy that hit close to 500 in spring training if he didn't hit that much. And every time he got an opportunity, he shined. Sometimes people say you can get fooled by spring training. I beg to differ, because I think for every individual, and especially in an organization like this where it's a land of opportunity, and if you come in here and you get off and you get down, you got a chance to come in here and take a job and establish a major league career. Well, Lawrence Butler hadn't been in big league camp. They played him in the A games. He's hitting in the top of the lineup. Every time he got an opportunity, he shot somebody at the yard. He shot somebody in the gap. And I think the more impressive thing about it all, even though the thing that he did on the field, it was how he prepared himself off the field. He was a guy that came in last year, the last couple of years, with a first base body somewhat. He came in there with a center field body this year. And what that shows me is commitment, and a guy understanding that, seeing guys who he played with in Atlanta with the Harrises and those kids up in Georgia that be balling their tail off, and he's competing against those guys in the park and they get their shot. He came into spring training like, man, I got to be just like my boys. And if he continued to play like that, and let's not forget about Denzel Clark. Let's not forget about Soderstrom. Let's not forget about Zeloff. When I talk about the kids are coming, and be patient, man. There's some kids coming, but there is a process in this thing, what you're doing here. You just don't roll them out there. I saw a team today on TV that got a $700 million payroll and got waxed, got their natural toe off. So you just get.
You talking about the Mets?
I didn't say that. You said that.
Milwaukee, but it's like I texted my buddy who's a Mets fan. I'm like, "Do you guys get on the bus today? What's the deal?" Soderstrom, how good do you think he can be?
Oh, he can rake. It's just a matter of opportunity.
Like, how good do you think he can be?
There are no Hall of Fame minor leaguers. And I saw Julio Rodriguez come up through the A's or through the Mariners organization, and right away you knew there was something incredibly special about it. The ability to put the bat on the ball. Even though his swing was being tinkered with, he still was able to have some production. I think when they let him alone and started letting him be Julio is when he became that. I think with Soderstrom right now, I mean, he is a catcher. He has played some first base. We've got a catcher. I mean, as long as he continues to keep his mind on his game and work hard and understand that when it's time to work on defense, I work on defense, and I know I can do this no matter where I'm playing. And as long as I do this, I've got a chance to get to the big leagues. I think he's the type of guy that has a chance to hit in the middle part of the order. He can hit. He's going to get strong. He's going to hit for power. But the guy is special. He's one of our better guys. It's more than just a whole bunch of fanfare about him. This guy is legit.
And quickly, when we judge, how tough is it to judge these great stats that we see at AAA, knowing that you're playing in thin air in the desert, you're playing in elevation? I mean, it seems to me hitters aren't that great and pitchers aren't that bad. It's tough to really decipher the data.
I think the decision and the judgment has already pretty much been made by the time you're still battling in AAA. Because when you separate yourself in AA, you're just one call away. Pitchers, I think, is so unfair for them up there in Vegas because the ball flies out of there. Guys just pop up. So many guys are hitting 45 and 50 home runs up there. you've got to discount that for sure. I mean, basically all you can do is know your players, know the player, and know what their stuff is and what their stuff is when they're not there in Vegas. So it's a little more than just evaluating the guy in one park. That's why guys like myself spend 7 months of the year, half of it on the road somewhere, finding out different things about these guys. Not only are they comfortable in their own environment, but how do they play on the road? How do they play under a little adversity? How do they handle themselves in different circumstances? All of that stuff matters. So it's going to be interesting, but man, he's just a phone call away, bro.
Quickly, I know you're about to head in the bushes. When are you coming out of the bushes and you're on TV?
1st of May. I'll debut my first suit on the 1st of May.
Oh God! I know when I'm doing TV with Shooty, I got to make sure I bust out a good suit. You can't be showing up in a seersucker suit. You got to be showing up in your prime. You got to have some prime Italian fabric on. You scare me, my friend.
No, you've been representing yourself well, Townie. You're not worried at all, man. It's such an honor, man, to be able to do what I do, to represent this organization on both sides. It's really unique, and you just don't see it every day. And it's because of the grace and the people here in Oakland. And I can't tell you, and I'm one of the luckiest guys in baseball, man. And I hope we get to do this a lot this year and get a chance to see this team grow. They're gonna take their lumps, man. It's not gonna be easy, but let's be patient. Let's enjoy watching the maturation of some of these solid, great young players.
The great Shooty Babitt.